Good evening, everyone. What's up, Chicago? Woo! Welcome to On the Lawn, presented by National Public Housing Museum and WBEZ. My name is Lisa Lee, and I'm the Executive Director of the National Public Housing Museum. Hello! We are a social justice museum and site of conscience that's located in the last remaining building of the Jane Addams homes on the west side. Yes, that's right. That's west side's in the house. And tonight's event features artists and activists who have lived and live currently in public housing, including this incredible lady, the fierce social justice warrior, someone who is the elected leader of the Central Advisory Council, a commissioner of housing, a board member and founder of the National Public Housing Museum. She stays representing Stateway Gardens. Welcome, Miss Francine Washington. How are you feeling, Miss Francine?
I'm feeling great. It's a good day. The weather's nice. Not too hot, just right. Not another flies buzzing. It's great. Welcome, everyone. You all are in for something spectacular. And this just I would say the first, I'd say the second of many. The first is yet to come. That's the opening.
That's right. So tonight, we have legendary artists from New York City to help us celebrate 50 years of hip-hop, pioneering MC, luminescent poet, brilliant wordsmith, and someone who taught Nas everything he knows, representing Queensbridge Houses, the Roxanne Shanté. Woo! We also have the cultural mover and shaker, the curator of the music room in the National Public Housing Museum, and also she curates our vibe at the museum too, representing the Pink Houses in Brooklyn, DJ Spinderella. Who else we got here tonight?
Those are lightweights. The real entertainment, and I don't even have to read from a card, but I'm gonna be nice about it. But the real entertainment is our very own talented, homegrown R&B soul musician, Isaiah Sharkey. At homegrown Horner Holmes and his brother, Slique J. Adams from Abla. And that's not like homegrown.
We're also so lucky to welcome MacArthur Genius Award winner,
Yes.
pianist, ragtime historian, Reginald Robinson.
From Abla Holmes, Abla.
That's right. And also Juke for Liberation, a program at Kumba Links with Mad Dog representing Southside Altgeld Gardens.
Yeah, all girl.
When the museum opens in 2024, right? That's when we're going to open. It will not only include the objects and stories of public housing residents from across the country, we will also have 3 recreated apartments from different generations of public housing residents, a museum store that is a cooperative that's owned and operated with public housing residents, beautiful public art by artists like Edgar Miller, Amanda Williams, and Ola Lekinjefus, Mama Dorothy Burge, Andrea Carlson, and Marissa Moran-John. The world's largest oral history archive of public housing stories named after Dr. Timule Black, an oral history school named after Beauty Turner of Robert Taylor Homes, and programs like The Artists as instigator residency that links arts, culture, and public policy to address housing insecurity, one of the most pressing issues of our day. But we will also, that's right, you can clap for that. But also, we will have an enthralling music room curated by DJ Spinderella, which is what brings us here tonight. Music teaches us about history, helps us survive the present, and unleashes our radical imaginations about our collective futures. From Brooklyn to Los Angeles to Houston to Chicago, Minneapolis to Memphis, klezmer, hip-hop, country to Latin rock, the music that emerged from public housing projects has shaped what America sounds like, and it's expanded our notion of American culture and American identity. The music room will be free and open to all visitors, and it is a space that's filled with the albums and stories of over 200 musicians who lived in public housing. Their lyrics and music reveal that the song of America is endlessly expansive and a source of comfort and strength for populations who too often have been marginalized and overlooked. So Francine, tell us, when is the museum opening again, and how excited are you for this
The
museum?
museum is opening in 2024. All that she said, don't pay it no attention. You have to be there. Please, on opening day, you need to be there. It's a destination. I mean, it is actually going to be a destination. People going to come from all over the world just to see the Public Housing Museum. Not a tourist attraction, a destination. You have to see it to believe it. No matter what nobody tell you, you have to see it for yourself. Please come to the opening day.
That's right, preach. So tonight I want to extend a huge thank you to our sponsors and supporters who made tonight's concert possible and who also share our commitment to housing as a human right. First, Landon, Bone and Baker Architects and the architect of the museum, Pete Landon, who was chosen as the architect by public housing residents, including Miss Francine, so many years ago. And I want to give a shout out to Taryn and Tyler and Jessica who've been working with us for so many years. The Chicago Association of Realtors Foundation, and the beautiful, that's right, you all representing in the green shirts. Thank you so much. And also the 21C Museum Hotel, a place that really loves and respects artists. And of course, our diverse board of directors who are sitting here and also on the lawn. We love you, we adore you. You imagined this museum from jump, and we really thank you so much. And if you like tonight, stay tuned for more, because with support from the Institute for Museum and Library Sciences, the National Public Housing Museum will be producing additional concerts of public housing residents for the next 2 years. Yay! Thanks to all of you who also give to the National Public Housing Museum. Your support is critical to helping us keep events like this free. And how can people actually help us, Ms. Francine?
You see, my hands are open. That means we always take donations. Open hands, get everything. If you have a phone, take out your phone, put it on Zoom, take a snapshot of that screen. If not, if you have your glasses on or somebody next to you can see, ladies, take your pencils out your purse, write the numbers down. Text us, donate. We don't even turn down our collars, so you know we taking all donations. Penny, nickel, dimes, everything add up. Donate, donate, donate. Destination, destination, destination is the National Public Housing Museum. And welcome all that's here and all that's coming in.
Yes, welcome to all the public housing residents who are here tonight too. Shout out to National Public Housing Museum staff, the best team ever. Liu Chen, Alex Mahar, Mark Jaschke, Samantha Wallace, Colleen McGahee, Emily, and also Tiff Beatty. I also want to give a special thanks to Eddie Medrano and the whole WBEZ team for partnering with us. Thank you to DCASE, and also a big thank you to our ASL interpreters. Woo! Rachel Arfa, also Commissioner of Mayor's Office of People with Disabilities. Thank you so much for helping us make events more accessible. We're kicking off this evening with a live demonstration of 36 questions for love. Do you know what that is?
Sometimes.
Well, we're about to find out what it is. Please join me in welcoming Tiff Beatty, the Associate Director of National Public Housing Museum, the lead organizer of tonight's event, an incredible poet, a cultural organizer who makes the revolution irresistible. And she's going to be joined by one of our co-hosts for this evening, someone who chops it up and breaks it down and helps us understand what's happening in the Windy City, host of WBEZ's daily The Rundown podcast, Erin Allen, who also is an incredibly wicked yoga instructor. Join me in welcoming Tiff Beatty and Erin Allen onto the stage. Woo!
Big thank you, Lisa.
Thank you.
Hi, everybody.
Good evening.
What up, though?
Hey, y'all.
So, Tiffany, we're here to talk about civic love, 36 questions for civic love. Why don't you tell us what that is?
Yeah, so let's just make sure we're all on the same page, right? So we're talking about love I'm sure y'all have some familiarity with that word love, but the word love can also mean so many different things, right? So what we're talking about tonight, different kind of love, maybe the love you write songs about, but also the love that is about the love for people, the love for place, and the love for communities, right? So we're inspired by activists and organizers like Grace Lee Boggs, like folks like Adrienne Marie Brown, like Bill Ayers and Bernadine Dorn, like so many folks in Chicago who really center their organizing in this concept of civic love, which is really about the limitless capacity that we have within ourselves to care for and to serve and to create with one another, right? So it's something that brings us together and ties us together and really strengthens us as a community.
Oh, isn't that so nice? So where did this idea come from?
Yeah, so I think this is really interesting because I studied psychology in college, and it was really a psychologist that came up with this, right? So psychology is just the study of people, which is something that I still consider myself doing as we're creating these kinds of programs, is just thinking about how do people interact with one another? How do they connect with each other? So he was really interested in intimacy, and he wanted to test if you can accelerate intimacy between two strangers. So he created this set of 36 questions, which he believed, or his hypothesis at least, was to see if he could develop love between two strangers using this set of 36 questions and asking and answering these questions with each other. And his theory was that if you did this experiment, that you could literally fall in love within a very short period of time. And if you didn't fall in love, then maybe you just weren't meant to be together. So we adapted that concept. And actually, if it sounds familiar, the New York Times actually has also a project called 36 Questions to Fall in Love. So again, we adapted this concept to see if we could test and grow civic love.
So this may sound a little bit ambitious, but I think there's proof that it does work.
Yeah.
How can folks try this out tonight, Tiff?
Yeah. So you're in luck because there's a couple different things happening tonight. If you're curious about civic love, which again is really just practicing, pairing yourself up, and it can be with a stranger or it can be someone that you came here with. And if you're open to finding civic love, you would really just find one of the vinyl stickers that's on the sidewalk around the pavilion, and you can literally just walk around the pavilion and ask and answer these questions of each other and see if you can grow civic love. And so it's really just about practicing listening, practicing sharing your own personal stories. There's no prerequisites. There's, you don't have to study for this test. It's really just, you just show up, you find anyone on the street or that you came with that would be willing to do it with you, and you can just walk around the pavilion and practice civic love.
And you can do that today. It'll be here up until September 3rd, right? So if you want to come back, bring a homie, you can do that. And then what about the folks who aren't here, couldn't come today, or they want to do it later when they're not here?
Yeah. So tell your friends. Civic Love is also online. It's at NPHM, which is the National Public Housing Museum's website.org /Civic Love. So you can do that right now on your phone. If you want to find it, bookmark it. It's nphm.org /Civic Love. And we have a toolkit on there that's a PDF that you can download. And you can also do the mobile version, which is brand new just for this event. And you can actually just do it on your phone and click through each question, one question at a time.
Thank you, Tiff.
Of course. Thank you. Appreciate you.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, yeah, give it up for Civic Love, y'all. Thank you so much. Appreciate you.
All right.
And
so we've got some special guests coming on. I'm going to just shift to a different part of the stage so we can actually talk to those folks. But thank you again, Tiff. See you later. All right. So as I mentioned, we have a few special guests who are going to come out and demonstrate this civic love that me and Tiff just talked about. The first one is a proud alumna of the Henry Horner Homes formerly located on Chicago's West Side. Give a round of applause if you remember the Henry Horner homes. Yes. This person is a current assistant director of resident engagement in community with the Chicago Housing Authority. Before joining CHA, she served on the CAC as president of the Henry Horner Homes West Haven Local Advisory Council. She was also named one of the 10 most influential women on the West Side of Chicago. And she now serves as the vice chair of the National Public Housing Museum's Board of Directors. Everybody give it up for Crystal Palmer. Hey. Have a seat wherever you like.
Thanks.
Yeah, thanks for being here. And our next guest, who's also going to participate in this activity, was born and raised in the Queensbridge Projects in Queens, New York, which, by the way, is still standing as the largest public housing project in the US. She was first gaining attention through the Roxanne Wars. She was part of the Juice crew in the 80s, which put her on the spotlight as one of rap's first famous female MCs. And you may have seen that critically acclaimed biopic in 2018 on Netflix about her life called Roxanne. Y'all know who I'm talking about. Yes. Right now, Roxanne hosts a show called Have a Nice Day. It's on Rock the Bells Radio on Sirius XM. And she'll be hosting and performing a little bit later tonight the legendary Roxanne Shanté.
Thank you. I'm like super excited. Like I can't wait until it's time for us to get into the music and party and enjoy and talk about the projects and just loving it. Like I have so much project pride. I don't know if everybody else understands what that is.
Yes.
But my project pride is on a whole different level, baby.
That's right.
I'm talking like incinerators, broken elevators, baby. I'm ready.
Talk about it.
I'm ready. Like once they told me about the National Museum, once they told me about it, I was so excited to jump on board because people get the wrong idea about the project.
Yes.
They get the wrong idea about that. They don't understand that you're talking about the cleanest houses, the best food, the best mothers. You're talking about some of the best people, needing opportunities in order to do things and show how great they are. So yeah, I'm gonna show up and show out tonight.
All right.
It's our
let's
night.
get it.
It's our night.
Yeah.
So all you people from the project, show up and show out.
Yeah,
It's our night.
Let's
Get
get
ready
ready for it.
So this is the type of love that we really want to get into right now.
Absolutely.
Yes. So we're gonna do 6 questions out of the 36. We're gonna do a truncated version of this.
Okay.
The questions are gonna appear on screen so everybody can see. I also have some note cards I'll give to you all so you can have them up close. And the goal is to listen without commenting as each person answers the question. So try to resist the urge to respond, give feedback, or ask more questions. This is an opportunity to really practice active listening, as we call it, and allow each other to just speak and be heard. So Roxanne, you're gonna ask the first question, and then you, Crystal, are gonna answer. And then after you answer, you're gonna ask Roxanne the same question, you're gonna answer, and then then it's your turn to ask the question, right? And switch off from then on.
Okay.
And then just one thing, it's not gonna feel like a normal conversation, right? It's not gonna feel natural. You're kind of just listening and then moving on to the next thing. So just try to stick with it.
Okay.
So let's get it. Question number 1, Miss Roxanne.
Okay. So I'm going to answer this question for myself, or should I just ask her the
You're
question?
going to ask her the question, and then she's going to answer.
Okay. So I need to know what song gives you the energy to get through the day.
So some R&B, some Mary J. Blige, some neo soul. I'm a neo soul girl, and then when I really need to get hyped up, maybe out of a little slump, some gospel. That gets me going in the morning on the way to work. I put me some music on to get my head right. So when I walk in the office, I'm already dancing. My staff person, when I walk in dancing, she start dancing. So we're on the same page. So, first R&B and then gospel when I'm a little shaky.
Okay.
All right, same question to you. What song gives you energy to get through the day?
McFadden and Whitehead's Ain't No Stopping Us Now. Like, I wish I had my DJ up here. Yeah, you know what I mean? That's the song that absolutely does it for me. You know, I'm sure y'all know the lyrics. There's been so many things that's held us down. Oh. But now,
Do we have?
come on.
I don't know.
And where we end up,
I don't know.
that's what I'm talking about.
Love it.
Absolutely.
Ah, there we go.
So many things that's held us down. But now it looks like things are
finally coming around.
Lovely.
I know we've got a long, long way to go.
Sing.
And where we end up,
What?
I don't know.
There you go. That's what I'm talking about.
Thank you, DJ.
Yeah, we had to sprinkle a little bit of that in there.
Tell us what this DJ is.
Absolutely. Give a round of applause to my DJ Cutmaster Cool V.
Hey.
All
right,
right,
let's go to the-
I'm not going to cut in no more. Go ahead. Go ahead. I'm not cutting in with no more surprises. I'm going to wait my turn. Go ahead.
All right, let's get the next question. All right, there you go.
All right. What do you keep in your cupboard board that someone who
Who raised me.
keeps
Also
in
kept in theirs.
Yep.
Boric acid. Baby, you already know. Grandmama had it in hers. I had it in mine. Mama had it in hers. And even though my daughter lived in what she considered to be a nice place, I told her she better grab some of that boric acid.
Yes.
So tell me, what do you keep in your cupboard that someone that you grew up with also has in theirs?
So my family grew up in the South, and one of the things that we always got is some baking powder. Mind you, there was a time when people came from the South that ate baking powder and they ate cornstarch.
Sure did.
So those things are in my cabinet at all times. My
Baby.
sister still eat baking powder. I don't, but she does.
Yeah, I'll bust down some Argo. That's right. In that blue box.
All right, what's the next question?
What's your connection to public housing if you have one? And we know you got a lot of connections.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So I was raised in Henry Horner. I work for the Chicago Housing Authority. I'm a former LAC president for Henry Horner West Haven on the Central Advisory Council. And most people know me in the city that live in public housing. I am also the ombudsman for them, and I'm also the manager of resident engagement and community. So I am the one that's out here in the community, putting out fires with everybody when they have issues.
Clap it up,
I'm
clap
all
it
that.
up, clap it up.
I'm all that. I probably missed a couple things. I received a lot of awards and accolades from my community because of all the work that I do. So I'm like a household name. I'm like that thing that goes in your cupboard, that baking powder in your
There you
cupboard.
go.
That's me.
Absolutely. Yes. Absolutely.
All right, your turn.
All right, for you. What's your connection to public housing if you have one?
Well, I was born and raised in Queensbridge Public Housing, which happens to be one of the largest housing projects in the world, if not the largest housing project in the world. On any given day, they say that we have 15,000 tenants on paper, but you really have anywhere between 30 to 45,000 residents because, somebody's always having family and friends and cousins and everybody staying there. And so I have represented Queensbridge all around the world. And I represent it proudly.
Right.
I do. I represent it proudly. So my connection and still being connected to Queensbridge today, actually we just had an event there that we did with over 10,000 residents. and without any incident. So one thing that I do say is that when we do bring the connection out to public housing, we bring out that positive, effect. People get a chance to see it, and they get a chance to understand that we come out, we party, we have a good time, we make it home safely. So my connection is to try to always make sure that that is the way that public housing is represented as long as Roxanne Shanté is involved. So that's my connection to public housing.
Yes. All right, what's the next one?
Who is your most memorable teacher in school?
My most memorable teacher in school, actually, her name is Miss Taxia. She has passed on. She was my first grade teacher. My mom was a domestic worker. She cleaned houses, and so she had used one of the ladies whose homes that she cleaned up. She used her address in order for me to go to school outside of my district. And so she was my first teacher, and I remember her telling me, like, listen, you got to always be sweet because you are the only chocolate chip in the cookie. I remember her telling me that when I was little. And I didn't quite understand it then, but I understood it now. And I remember my mom telling me how important it was to be able to articulate, because if people are able to understand what it is you mean, and also to enhance your vocabulary. So if I needed to say who was my most memorable teacher or who was my most impressionable teacher, it would still be my mom, because even the lessons that I was learning in school, she reinforced them at home when I would come home with something. So overall, I still have to give that credit to my mother.
Wow.
So who was your most memorable teacher in school?
So Crystal had a hard time in school. Crystal was bullied in school, picked on in school, and then Crystal learned how to become a bully and pick on people herself. But there was one particular principle that really honed in on me and tried to figure out what was the problem. And that happens to be Dr. Wyrick. He passed away many years ago, but for me to go through all the stuff that I went through in school, for somebody to kind of understand and hear you, it has to be impressionable upon me, because at least somebody finally heard me. And as you say, my mother was a crossing guard. My mother was a mother to everybody in the community. So the other person had to be my mother, the only person in the world that I was ever scared of. And she's been gone since '89. I'm still afraid of her because of the values that she taught me. Absolutely. Because of the things that she taught me. That's why I was afraid of her. Not her as a human being, but because of what she represented. She represented the community, and it's so ironic that I do the exact same thing. Everything that I hated her to do, I do.
Yep.
But it's a good thing. I sit here, a public housing resident, a former public housing resident, in front of you as the vice chair of the National Public Housing Museum, doing all the things that I do in the city and around the country. So those teachers are very valuable to me.
Yes, absolutely.
I think that one's for you. Yeah, it's it.
Okay. Have you lived in a place long enough to see a change? And what did the change look like?
So you guys know I work for the Chicago Housing Authority, right? So if you work for the Chicago Housing Authority, you lived in public housing, there's a lot of changes. State Street was lined up with high-rises. There was Horner, Horner, Cabrini high-rise, Rockwell, Abla. All those buildings, all those high-rises are gone now. I remember working as a janitor, and I started seeing things in my community, which was 99.9% African American, and I started seeing different colors pop up in the community. And I was like, what the heck's going on? That now all of a sudden, places that people wouldn't live, now they're moving in. They start rehabbing houses and doing all kind of different things, bringing stores and doctor office and things in the community that makes it vibrant into the community. And I started seeing that. So I've lived through the change. 1996, when I started working for public housing, Horner was the first development that was torn down. I watched it be torn down, and I watched it be built up, and all the rest of the developments that are being built up now. I have an intricate part in it because I am the ombudsman for those mixed-income communities, so I have a lot of work that I do within those communities. So there are a great deal of change that happen in Chicago, and the other thing, the things that happen in Chicago impacts the whole entire country because we're the only one, the first one, not the only, but the first one to do this type of work, to tear down and rebuild and try to build vibrant communities. So I've seen great changes.
Your turn.
So, all right. Have you lived in a place long enough to see a change? What did the change look like?
I have lived, and I have been blessed enough to live in New York. I've lived in Queensbridge Public Housing. I've lived in Newark, New Jersey. If I was to sit here and say where the most of the change that I've seen occur would have to be in Newark, New Jersey. I have watched such a positive change in Newark, New Jersey. I've watched the increase in home ownership. I've seen schools open up. I have watched our mayor, Raz Baraka, do some wonderful things throughout the city, like not only during the time of COVID, but before and after, trying to make sure that everyone has gotten into ownership, coming out of rentals, getting rid of the blight. Like, it's been a wonderful change there. So if I had to say, it would be where I am now, where I reside now, and that would be Newark, New Jersey.
All right, y'all, we have the last question. Can you believe it? Here you go. This one's for you
All
first.
right. Name something we appear to have in common.
I think it is our love for community, the fact that we grew up in the projects, the reason, how we still love and I respect our moms, even though they have passed on, understanding the lessons that they taught us and what we walk with. So if anything, I was to say that we have in common the most is that we turned out to be really good daughters and great lovers of our community.
Wow. Wow, she said it all. You want to ask me a question?
There we go. She said I said it all. Absolutely. So name something else that you think that we have in common.
I mean, you named everything. I mean, the love that we have for public housing, the projects. We're gonna keep it real.
The projects, absolutely.
Yeah, we changed names, but it's the project to us, right?
Yes.
So the love that we have for projects, the love that we have of bringing people together.
Yes.
Because that's what public housing does. I was talking to one of my friends from Horner out there just a minute ago, and she said, Crystal, you know, it's not like it used to be. It's like, I miss the project because there was camaraderie in the projects. We sat out in the front, we hung out in the hallways, we cooked for each other, we took care of each other. And we don't have that now, right? So I think one of the common things that we have is that we're able to reach out to people and bring them together through this civic love. If we practice this civic love, it's real, guys. If you ever want to get connected with the people that you don't think you know and think you don't have anything in common, here's the example to do the common, you know, the
ask
civic
each other
love.
questions, get to know each other.
That's absolutely so. And you talk to your neighbor talk to you, you'll find out that you guys have a lot of things in common. So I think that's what we have in common, is that we're able to spread the word about love and the love that we have for our people, the love that we have for our communities, past and present.
Absolutely, and we got great skin. Like, do you see our skin? Like, we got that in common too. Absolutely.
Wow, this has been so lovely. Thank you both.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Me and you.
Thank you, guys.
So give it up for Miss Crystal Palmer once again. Me and Miss Roxanne, we're going to stay on the stage, but thank you so much for coming out. Thank you for the work that you're doing in the community. Yes. All right.
Put your hands together again for Miss Crystal.
All right. Let's get a little more cozy. Yeah. All right, so that was our abbreviated version of 36 questions for civic love. As a reminder, you can engage in this while you're here today and up until September 3rd. So there is an installation on the sidewalks around the park where you can see the different questions, and if you happen to be standing there, you can treat it like a mistletoe, but without the kisses, unless you're into that type of thing. But if you find yourself on the sidewalk with someone and you want to engage in the civic love conversation, you can do that now up until early next month. And then again, if you want to bring this to your community, you can go and get the virtual toolkit at nphm.org/civic-love. We are here to celebrate the music of public housing. Now, one thing that I have learned as we've been leading up to this event is that there are so many different folks who have grown up in public housing, or the projects, as they're called. Who are some folks you know about?
Well, I mean, if we were to talk about people from public housing, such as Curtis Mayfield. When we think about Curtis Mayfield, we think about great soundtracks, and we think about great songs, and we think about good times when the house was clean and the door was open. How many of you remember being in the projects and when your house was clean, you had to crack the door? And you had to crack the door because you used so much bleach and so much pine. And when the door would be cracked open, you would hear songs like this.
I'm your pusher man. I'm your pusher man.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, so many hip hop artists, Nas,
Absolutely.
Jay-Z.
Absolutely.
Yes, I mean, yourself,
Absolutely.
so many folks.
So you know what? We were thinking about the fact that we also have another great DJ here tonight. DJ Spinderella, put your hands together.
Yes.
And Spinderella is also going to take us through people who lived in the projects and play some of the great music and the great songs of people who have been also in the projects.
Yeah.
So now tell me, who do you know who has been there?
I mean, it's really the folks I said. I mean, I grew up in the 90s. I was born in the late 80s, grew up in the 90s. I grew up listening to Jay-Z, grew up listening to Nas. Those are the ones that I know of. I have heard Barbara Streisand was in the projects at one point. Prince was living in public housing for a minute. A lot of people you wouldn't really think of.
Absolutely. I think what it is that people don't understand the influence of public housing.
Yes.
The influence of growing up and understanding that you grow up with an entire family, an extended family. When you do that, when you grow up in the projects, you're not just being raised by your mother, you're being raised by a community and
Yes.
everything that's in that community, like the corner store, and being able to go to the corner store with a note. And being able to, and letting them know, now if we're gonna talk about the projects, let's really talk about the projects for a second. I'm talking about going to the store with a note in case you had to go and, unfortunately, go get a beer, some cigarettes. You know what I'm saying? They tie a little note to you. The note say that you're going to go and pick up some cigarettes, whatever the case may be. But the main factor was knowing that you could go to that corner store and you would be able to get whatever it is you needed. And that is the reason why we needed to be able to have a museum, somewhere where people are able to go and have those great memories and have that experience. And that's the reason why, knowing how much music is tied into it, that it was going to be a great thing.
Yeah. We're going to bring up our first performer because I know we are all ready for the music to begin. He is a renowned pianist. His musical journey to ragtime started when he was a kid growing up in the Henry Horner homes.
That's right.
Who we got coming up?
Reginald Robinson. Put your hands together for Reginald Robinson.
Good evening, everyone. Glad to be here tonight, and it's an honor. I got into ragtime music. The first place I heard ragtime music was when I was a kid in the Henry Horner, and it was this little tune here on the ice cream truck. That is a tune by the great composer Scott Joplin, and yeah, it's called The Entertainer. I'm going to play some original pieces for you, and I want to dedicate this little set of tunes to my parents, Janet and Mose Robinson, in their memory. Yep. Thank you. The first piece I'm going to play for you is a tune that I wrote in, what year is it? 1997, and it's actually a blues number. And I want to let you know, too, that all of the music forms that came after ragtime have ragtime in it to this day. It's just that, you know, there's a saying that it don't mean a thing if it ain't got that swing. Well, the swing is actually ragtime. It's syncopation. So, and ragtime was the first music to really spotlight syncopation. So this piece is called Mr. Murphy's Blues. Thank you so much. Yes, stylistically, that's like 1926. Yeah. Next piece I'm going to play for you, I wrote this one in 1995, and actually it was my mother's favorite tune of mine. You know, she would come and sit in my room. I'd put my piano in my room. So she would come in, you know, sometimes when she was in the kitchen cooking or whatever, and when she was upstairs where my room was, she would come and sit on the bed and listen to me play. She would always ask me to play that piece, play that tune, the one I like. So it's this tune called Sweet Envy, and it's a Cuban tango is what I subtitle it. Thank you so much. I'm going to finish with a piece called Footloose. And this was written in 2006. It was a commissioned piece by the John D. and Catherine T. MacArthur Foundation. And I wrote this for a retiring member. And I wanted to, create a title that would refer to something in like a musical kind of title, to say retirement, because the member was, on the board of the foundation was retiring. So I was thinking Footloose sounds like a nice title. Anyway, Footloose, and stylistically, this is I guess you call it stride, boogie, and ragtime. Those styles are all mixed in. And the stride was something that was an advanced form of ragtime piano, where the left hand would take a far leap. And it was popular in Harlem, New York, with people like James P. Johnson and Fats Waller and people like that. Yep. So hope you enjoy it. Footloose from 2006. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Okay, so what we're getting ready to do right now is we're getting ready to play a game called Whose House Is This? And in order to play Whose House Is This, I think it's only right that we started off with a little bit of music like this while we wait for our contestants to come. Contestants, work your way out. Let's do it.
In the beginning, there was Jack, and Jack had a groove. And from this groove came the grooves of all grooves. And while one day viciously throwing down on his box, Jack boldly declared, "Let there be house." And house music was born. I am, you see, I am the creator, and this is my house. And in my house there is only house music. But I am not so selfish, because once you enter my house, it then becomes our house and our house music. And you see, no one then owns house.
Okay. So, no, you can't keep looking back. You gotta look this way. We're gonna look to the front. Okay? And you can't post at the same time. Okay, so tell me your name, where you from, even though we met you earlier, but tell me your name and where you from.
Crystal Palmer, Henry Horner, West Side. West Side?
Okay, that's who she represents. Tell me your name and where you from.
J.R. Fleming. Cabrini Green in the building.
Okay. Tell me your name and where you from.
I'm Erin. I'm the Commissioner of the Department of Cultural Affairs and Special Events.
Okay, listen, she let you know she got the credentials for this game. Sometimes you gotta have credentials, you just gotta have credentials. Okay, so we're gonna start this off like this. Are we gonna show it scrambled up here? Now, when you do turn around, if you know what this is, if you know what building this is, if you know what this is, I need you to raise your flag and I need you to dance. Okay? I need you to raise your flag and dance. This is not no regular contest. Wait, get some old school hip hop going here. Let me run through some of these dances with you right quick. Can we run through some hip hop right now? We just want to make sure. Okay, so when I say WAP, we gonna WAP. Okay, that's a wait. We gonna WAP when we say WAP. Okay, let me see. Maybe snake. Okay. Maybe a little heartbeat. Okay. Maybe a little two-step. Okay. There you go. Maybe a bump. Can I get a bump? Okay, we good.
We start with the
right.
WAP, right?
Okay, that's what we're gonna do. So, if you know this building, I need you to turn around and dance. Let's do it. If you know it, raise your flag. Oh, get up here and dance then. Good, you know it, let's sing it.
I came in the door, I said it before. I never let the mic magnetize me no more, but it's biting me, fighting me, inviting me to rhyme. I can't hold it.
Okay, name that building.
Robert Taylor.
Okay, that's right. Okay, you ready? If you see and you know the name of this building, you gotta raise up, walk up to the front, and you gotta give me something, like anything, like give me something, okay? That's what we gonna do. Ready? Turn around. Let's do it. Gotta have house music all night long. Come on. With that house music, you can't go wrong. Let's do it. Give me that house music. Okay, y'all ready? Name it.
Cabrini Green.
You got to say it with the feeling. You ready?
Cabrini Green.
Say it again.
Cabrini Green.
There you go. Cabrini Green. Put your hands together for our contestants. That's right. Put your hands together for our contestants. Listen, we have some great prizes. Give them a round of applause. Because it's not easy to get up here and do this, especially when you know that you're getting ready to dance and everything else and do your things. But right now, we got your prizes for you, so you can go over there. We got your prizes for you. So I am going to be more than just your host this evening. Okay? Thank you, sweetie. We're going to laugh. We're going to cry. We're going to have great memories. We're going to smile. We're going to enjoy being from the projects. We are going to have a project party. And the best way for us to start that project party off is with one of my favorite female DJs. I'm talking about someone that made spinning sexy. Someone that has traveled all around the world, who has DJ'd for the fellas and for famous girls. So, as we get ready to put our hands together for DJ Spinderella, but before we talk about DJ Spinderella, I got something else I want to say. That's right, I do. I have something else I want to say. Coming from the era that we come from a great time. We come from a time when you knew your neighbors knew you. We came from a time where when you got ready to go out to a party, especially of those of you who have survived the 80s. We've survived the 80s. Give yourselves a round of applause. We've survived COVID. We've survived bad marriages, bad kids, bad diets. Some even had bad cholesterol, high blood pressure. You know what I'm saying? I can name bad credit. I can name a whole list of things that we survived, but we are here. And we are loving life. Give yourselves a round of applause for coming out this evening. So you know what? I'm about to give out some t-shirts. I'm about to give out some t-shirts, and it looks like I'm gonna wind up playing some games. Who wanna play some games with me? Okay, so now in order to play these games with me, there's certain things that we need to know, that we from the same era. Things like, you had to be in the house before what? You had to be out before the street lights came on. I'm talking about when you did something wrong, you had to go and pick your own. Say it again, pick your own. That's right, pick your own switch. I'm talking about when your mother would leave you in the house, she had 3 rules. Rule number 1 was don't have nobody in my. That's right, don't have nobody in my house. Rule number 2 was don't use my. That's right, don't use my phone. You couldn't even call the police, you couldn't call the fire department. How they know how to get there? You called them? You see what I'm saying? You couldn't do that. And rule number 3 was don't go in my. That's right, I don't care how many children your mama had, she had her own room. She was like, don't go in my room. In that room, she kept all the good stuff. The good cereal, your good clothes, the phone. You see what I'm saying? I need to take you back into time. I need to take you back into time before we had air conditioning. When air conditioning, because now, for some reason, the kids think air conditioning just comes with everything. They didn't know about us back in the day. You remember when you moved up from the box fan to that fan with the 3 clicks? Okay, I'm talking about when you got that little white fan and don't have the fan, the one that rotated, the one that went like, okay? I'm talking about when you used to walk up to the fan and for some reason you just felt like you needed to do this. Until she yelled, get from in front of that fan. I'm talking about the times when, before we even had the plastic fan. You remember that first time you put your finger in that fan and you was scared as hell? You thought your finger was off. That blade said, Brit. You was like, whoo. See, that's where I'm saying, that's where we are. That's where we need to be. You know I'm gonna take you back, baby. I'm gonna take you all the way back. I'm gonna take you back to cleaning up the bathroom on Saturday. before you watch Soul Train. I'm talking about while you was already in the tub, scrubbing and cleaning the tub, she come behind you, start throwing Common and Ajax. You ain't cleaning that tub like you supposed to. Now you in there coughing and choking. I'm talking about taking you back to a time where, as friends, we borrowed each other's clothes but didn't tell nobody they was each other's clothes. If you was going somewhere where we didn't know you and nobody knew you, the first thing they say is, you can wear my clothes. And we missed that. But growing up in the projects, we had that. We had that. We knew what it was like for somebody to make some spaghetti and you eat it all the way to the third tangy day. You know that third day when it get tangy? When you go and you open it up in the refrigerator and you be seeing that little orange grease? But for some reason you think, listen, it's that third tangy day, I'm gonna add a little hot sauce to this. Baby, and I'm just gonna pray on this stomach. You see, that's who we are. And that's something I never want us to forget. And that is the reason why we need to have a museum that takes us back. But baby, this party that we have in here tonight is for everybody, to let them know that we have Project Pride. So put your hands together for DJ Spinderella.
What's up, y'all? DJ Spinderella's up in here. What's up, Shanté? As my girl, my sister in rhyme, the icon, Roxanne Shanté said, we gonna have a little party.
Calling me audibly, bawling, she said that she would never leave, continue to torture me, telling me to come with her, underneath my comforter, and she brought a gun with her, pills and some rum with her, took me on the balcony, telling me to jump with her, yeah, I'm in the ghost, but I ain't doing stunts with her, I ain't trying to be that, haters wanna see that, but I got him aggy, cause I win the gold like Gabby.
She's just a girl and she's on fire. This girl is on fire.
Alicia Keys too.
This girl is on
fire. We can't forget Rue. Put the W's up, y'all.
Cash rules everything around me. Queen, get the money. Dollar, dollar bill, yo.
Life. Whoa.
I wonder.
Represent Queensbridge. We got Nas.
I don't know. Imagine smoking weed in the street without cops harassing. Imagine going to court with no trial. Lifestyle cruising blue Bahama waters. No welfare supporters. More conscious of the way we raise our daughters. Days are shorter, nights are colder. Feeling like life is over. These snakes strike like a cobra. The world's hot, my son got knocked. Evidently, it's elementary.
And my girl live.
UNITY, that's a unity. UNITY, love a black man from Infinity to
Who you calling a bitch?
UNITY, we gotta let them know. UNITY, that's a woman. Here we go. UNITY, we gotta let them know. Black woman, you ain't a bitch.
What up, y'all?
Shot-town zone, come on.
Y'all ain't know, I go by the name of Lupe Fiasco, representing that first and 15. Yeah, and this one right here, I dedicate this one right here to
MJP. Oh yeah, let's take it to the south, y'all.
Cash Money Records taking over for the 99 and the 2000. Girl, you're working with some bag, yeah. Just stack, yeah. Make it want to spend this cash, yeah. This last, yeah. Girls proud with your pass, yeah. They mad, yeah. You could ride in the Jag, yeah. With that, yeah. You can
running
smoke
through
by your bag, yeah.
so
Flash,
many.
yeah. Got money I can flash, yeah. And trash, yeah. I'm a bitch, I'm a player, yeah. Gun spray, yeah. A clear head, a flipper, yeah. Grey Billy, yeah. Look, I be slinging wood, yeah. I'm out the hood, yeah. Let it be understood, yeah. It's all good, yeah. Got a gas, give me low, yeah. On the hard, yeah. You smooth here, broad, yeah. I want to draw, yeah.
Teddy Raleigh.
Check, baby, 1, 2, 3, 4. Check, baby, one, check, 3. Check, baby, 1, 2. Check, baby, 1. It's Teddy, ready with the 1, 2 checker. Rex in the fence, but I'm the wreck off the track. Bought the honey shaking bumps and they vaccine. Booties of the cutie steady shaking but relaxing. The action is packed in a jam like a closet beach. Bound to get you up, cold flowing like a faucet. Not mean to make you sit, not mean to make you jump, but yet make the hotties in the party shake it run. I like the way you comb your hair.
Whoa.
I like the stylish clothes you wear.
Whoa.
Since the little things you do.
Get out your seat, let's party, y'all.
All I wanna do is zoom, and a boom, boom. Just shake your body. All I wanna do is zoom, and a boom, boom. Just shake your body. All I wanna do is zoom, and a boom, boom. Just shake your body. All I wanna do is zoom, and a boom, boom. Let's go get 'em, just. Hey.
And Jigga.
Hey. Hey.
The billionaire.
Hey.
Yeah.
Show me what you got, little mama. Show me what
show
you
me
got,
something.
pretty lady. Show me what you got, shawty. Show me what you got, baby. Hands up and wave. Wave up and wave.
And we already know we gonna be all right. I don't care where you from, what project you from.
All's my life, hard times like, yeah.
We going to the top,
bad
y'all.
trips like, yeah. Nazareth, I'm
don't
fucked up, homie, you fucked up, but if God got us, then
we gon' be alright.
We gon' be alright. We gon' be alright. We gon' be alright. Do you hear me? Do you feel me? We gon' be alright. We gon' be alright. Huh? We gon' be alright. We gon' be alright. Do you hear me? Do you hear me? Do you hear me?
Okay. All these folks is from public housing, and I just want to let everybody know we broke ground for the new museum. It's coming 2024. Make sure y'all go and check that out. We got one more. And most importantly, I came from the pink houses in Brooklyn, the notorious pink houses, and I made it. So if y'all know this one, I need y'all to sing along with me, all right?
Yeah, yeah.
This what y'all know me from. Shout out to all the good men in the audience. I see you.
What a man, what a man, what a man, what a mighty good man.
Sing it, ladies.
What a man, what a man, what a man, what a mighty good man. He's a mighty, mighty good man. What a man,
You got a good man. You better sing.
mighty good man. Yes, he is. What a man,
You know the words. Sing the song with me.
mighty good man.
Yes, my man says he loves me. Never says he loves me not.
Wanna rush me good and touch me in the right spot. See other guys that I've had, they try to play all that Mac, but every time they try to say it, but not this man, he's got the right potion. Baby, rub it down and make it smooth like lotion. Yeah, the ritual, highway to heaven. From 7 to 7, he's got me open like 7-Eleven. And yes, it's me that he's always choosing. With him, I'm never losing, and he knows that my name is not Susan. He always has heavy conversation for the mind, which means a lot to me, cause good men are hard to find. But they right here in the shadow. One time for the MPHS. One time for everybody that grew up in public housing like myself. And one time for y'all. Make some noise. That's right. I want to bring my girl back out, Roxanne Shanté. I hear we got more games and more performances. But I need my girl, the icon, the legend, my sister in rhyme, Roxanne, to come out. We want to play a little game?
Let's play a little game.
Come on, let's play a little game.
Okay. I like playing these games.
I do too.
Okay, so now I need to bring out contestants for game number 2 called Did You Know They Lived There Too? Put your hands together for our contestants. Tell me your name and where you're from.
All right, I am the legacy of the late Queen Marion and Zinga Stamps of Cabrini Green. I am Commissioner Tara Stamps of the 1st District of Cook County.
Okay.
All right, Mike Rogers, Vice Chair of the National Public Housing Museum and an alumni of Robert Taylor Homes on the south side of Chicago.
Okay.
All right, Roxanne. Mark Thiele, CEO of NARO, also former CEO of the Houston Housing Authority in Gentilly, Louisiana.
Okay, put your hands together, baby. Okay, so now here's how it goes. If you know who this person is, y'all are not exempt from it. You need to raise your fan or sign, come to the middle, and you gotta dance. Okay? So, turn around. Did you know blank lived in public housing? Tell me, which one of those? If you know the answer, raise it up, come out here, and get ready to do that dance. You gonna go? Okay. Who you going with? Mark Anthony. Okay, put your hands together. That's what I'm talking about. Okay, we're gonna play one more time. Did you know blank lived in public housing? Is it A, Will.i.am, B, Fergie, C, Taboo, and D, ooh. Help me out with that one, y'all. Okay, what they said.
What they say? What they say?
Whatever they said. Turn around, interpreter. Tell Spinderella what they said. That's what they said right there.
I think the answer is A.
Come on out. You ready? Let's do it. Stand right here, because your break point get ready to come. Go! Oh, he got a spring in his jump, don't he?
Jump up, baby.
It's Will.i.am.
I got a feeling.
Come on.
That tonight's gonna be a good night.
What?
That tonight's gonna be a good night. That tonight's gonna be a good night. A feeling.
Oh, I'm loving his energy. I'm loving everybody's energy. Put your hands together.
They know they stop.
Because those are some people that lived in your neighborhood. Thank you so much, contestants. And now, let's get ready for now. One thing that they say about Chicago. They say that Chicago has a lot of great things. There's a lot of good things about Chicago. Good-looking people.
The pizza.
Good food. Yeah, the pizza. Good food. Great music. But also incredible dancers. They say Chicago got that footwork, baby. So, put your hands together, because we about to see some Chicago footwork. Let's do it.
Pump it, work it, irk it, jerk it, pump it, work it, irk it, jerk it. You work it. These are the sounds of 18-floor high-rises with Chi-Town shorties jack their bodies to house and juke mixes. See, little do you know, footwork runs through these Chi-Town streets rooted deep And people always ask me, how do you move your feet? At 160 beats. I tell them culturally it's embedded in me to use my feet against my oppressor. See, us foot workers are born into living conditions where dance and music are the movements that saved our lives. House music is the mother that birthed us, but juke music is the mother that moves us. Now follow me and watch me move. Watch me juke.
Ooh, yeah, this feel real nice. Breathe in, breathe out. Hey man, pass me that air. Give me that air.
Excuse you? You have any manners? Oh, please, pretty please, throw me some of the fresh air.
Oh, throw it to me. I really need it. I really need it. Pass it to me. Oh, man. That's not fair. There's no more fresh air.
As Jim Crow laws created racial segregation, they also reinforce an environmental system that still disadvantages minorities.
When you think about any other facet of society, the physical environment is not exempt from institutional racism and prejudicial environmental actions and policies that disproportionately affect the Black and poor communities in the United States.
Footwork through the trauma. Footwork through the trauma. But I can't breathe. Just like my mama. Footwork through the trauma. Footwork through the trauma. But I can't breathe. Just like my mama. My mother told me I'll always be shortened of breath. She said, baby, I'm sorry, but at times you cannot breathe. All because you was born in a polluted all-guild garden where waste management showed total disregard for black life. Right across the street from your garden, your city, Chicago, burns its waste, its trash, and all that toxic goes into your water pipe, right into your Kool-Aid jar. And now your lead level is a 27. Imagine being born into a family where no one can breathe, where albuterol, inhalers, nebulizers, and prednisone are your best friends. When you ride down the Bishop 4 and you get to 131st Street, you can smell the stench of asthma, black, cancerous death. In 1991, my mother was diagnosed with an enlarged heart in one lung. And for 11 years, she lived on 24-hour oxygen until she passed away from congestive heart failure in 2018. Every time I dance, I'm reminded of the environmental racism that has happened to me and every family in All-Gill Gardens. But I'm not gonna stop. I'm a footwork through the trauma, footwork through the trauma, but I can't breathe, just like my mama. Footwork through the trauma, footwork through the trauma, but I can't breathe, just like my mama. Footwork through the trauma, footwork through the trauma, but I can't breathe, just like my mama.
Y'all tired yet? If you're ready to go, make some noise. We're gonna bring her back to the stage, y'all. The fly girl, Roxanne Shanté. Let's go.
Okay, so now, put your hands together again for the dance. They did a phenomenal job. That was incredible. You talking about being heartfelt and understanding and knowing what people go through and them still being able to come out here and do great things and be great. But I'm gonna tell you something else too. I need to take you back to the projects again. That's right, baby, you know where we going. We're going back to the projects, but we gonna go back hip-hop style. So, if you know this here song, you grew up in the projects, let me hear you sing along.
It's a party. Y'all can get up if you want to.
Come on. Y'all better get up and get ready to party.
Come on, everybody, throw your hands up in the air and wave them like you just don't care. And if you're ready to party with Roxanne tonight, somebody say, oh yeah. Oh yeah. I think they know the words to this, you know what I'm saying? I need y'all to sing along. Come on.
I said a hip, the hip me to the hip. Don't stop the rocker to the bang, boogie. Say up, jump the boogie to the rhythm of the boogie beat. Now what you hear is not a test, I'm rapping to the beat.
Come on!
And me, the groove, and my friends are gonna try to move your feet. You see, I am Wonder Mike, and I like to say hello. To the black, to the white, the red, and the brown, and the purple, and yellow. But first, I gotta
bang, bang,
the boogie to the boogie, say up jump the boogie to the bang bang boogie. Let's rock.
You don't stop, rock the rhythm that'll make your body rock. Well, so far you've heard my voice, but I brought two friends along. And next on the mic is my man Hank. Come on, Hank, sing it.
Come on. I'm the CASN, the OVA, and the rest is FLY. You see, I go by the code of the doctor of the mix, and these reasons I'll tell you why. You see, I'm 6'1", tons of fun, and I dress to a T. You see, I got more clothes than Muhammad Ali, and I dress so viciously.
Come on.
I got bodyguards, I got 2 big guns, that definitely ain't the whack.
What you got?
I got a licking and a son who's got
I can't hear you, let's go.
So after school, I take a dip in the pool, which is really... I got a color TV so I can see the Knicks play basketball. Him and juggle my checkbook, credit cards more money than a sucker could ever spend. But I wouldn't give a sucker or a bum from the rock and not a dime till I made it.
Everybody, come on.
Go.
Hotel, motel.
What you gonna do today? Is I'm gonna get a fly girl, gonna get some spring and drive off in a death OJ. Everybody go. Jail, holiday in. See if your girl starts acting up, then you.
But you know what? Cutmaster Cool V.
What you say?
I think we gonna take the party to the people.
What you mean? You gonna go out there in the audience?
Listen, I grew up in the projects. My people are my people. My family is my family.
Yeah.
And we gonna party together. Are y'all ready? Are you really ready? Open this up. Okay, so when I come up to you, you better know these lyrics. Cutmaster Cool V.
Let's go.
Let's do it. Come on.
1990, Sharp Rock jumps upon the scene with a lean and a pocket full of green. The green doesn't symbolize I made it on the top, but RoboCop last year was a shock. The tone of the Popeye cut shook your butt. Kids are screaming, the media says what? Kind of music is this for you to dance to? The man with the plan and the band demands you. Leave the smack and the crack for the whack, throw the ball and the knock, keep a smile like that. Leave the knife and the gun in the store and set by the nation. Racial game cause his pain needs a new rep. In your heart and mind, never forget you set Hawkins, and when you're walking, you know what you're spun. Black on black, remember that, it's important. Anyway, the shunless one bring forth the fun. No hatred, the summer's almost done. No time for sleep, jump in your Jeep and pump up the funky beat. Holy beeper goes off, yo, smash it, then trash it. You're too young to be plumped in a casket. Just get your boys and bring the noise and just swing it. And party people sing it.
Engine
number 9 on the New York Transit line. If my train goes off the track, pick it up, pick it up, pick it up.
Are y'all ready over here?
I think they ready.
Come on. Come on. Ready? Where you representing? Chi-Town. And what's your name? DZ. How can I explain it? I'll tell you what. To have your all jump shout saying it. You gotta know these lyrics.
That's not as simple.
It's sort of like another way to call a cat a kid.
You get it on occasion if the other party isn't gaming. It seems I gotta start to explain. Listen, you ever had a girl that better on a nice and low? Figure that name and number, get it feeling low. Get on way today, she's what you wanna know about. Do you know up in this a girlfriend's or a cousin's house? It's not a front, F to the R to the O to the S to the T. It's just a boyfriend's at a house. It's OPP, some other people's, but you get it. There's no room for relationships, it's just room. How many brothers out there know just what I'm getting at? Who think it's wrong cause I was splitting and co-hitting that? Well, if you do, that's OPP and you're not down with it. But if you don't,
Sing it. You down with OPP?
Yeah, you know me.
You down with OPP?
Yeah, you know me.
You down with OPP?
Yeah, you know me.
You down with OPP?
Everybody.
You down with OPP? Yeah, you know me. You down with
Come on. I only need to see everybody's butt. Let's go. Come on.
All right.
Let's do it.
Hit it.
I need for
Oh,
all
yeah.
of Chicago to hear us.
You know what?
Sing it.
Lottie Dottie. Lottie. You know what? Yo, peep this. Lottie Dottie. We don't cause trouble. We don't bother nobody. We're just some men that's on the mic. And when we rock up on the mic, we rock the mic. All of y'all, keeping y'all in health, just to see you smile and enjoy yourself. Cause it's cool when you cause a cozy condition and that we create. Cause that's our mission, so listen to what we say. Because this type I woke up around 10 o'clock in the morning. I gave myself a stretcher, a morning yawning. Went to the bathroom to wash up. Had some soap on my face and my hand upon a cup. I said, mirror, mirror on the wall, who is the top choice of them all? There was a rumble dumble, 5 minutes it lasted. The mirror said, you are, you can. Well, that's true. That's why we never have no beef. So then I washed off the soap and brushed the gold teeth. You still have
Oh no, the party is not stopping there, baby. This is a party. Now, I lost my mom a year ago. So I want to say my condolences to everyone that has lost their mom. You understand that when you lose your mom, the world is a different place. But the thing about it is, growing up in the projects, I remember parties. I remember the door being cracked open. I remember borrowing chairs from the neighbor. I remember one neighbor that nobody liked, she had to watch all the kids. Be like, yeah, just send all the kids over to Barbara's house. Barbara don't like to come out to the party and her chicken's always salty. You know what I'm saying? So we gonna send all the kids to Barbara's house. But while we sending the kids to Barbara's house, I remember my mom getting ready for the party, and she was playing songs like this.
Check it out. MC and my people call me Milk. When I'm busting up a party, I feel no guilt. Gizmos cutting up for thee suckers that's down with me.
Let me tell you something.
Miss Peggy ain't never played that.
She ain't never played no song like that. When she played songs and got ready for the party, she made sure she had on her bodysuit, she had on her jeans, cabinets full of food, she had on her shoes, and she played songs like this. If your mother played this song, if you played this song, if your house was clean, sing.
It's like I can feel it when you walk, even when you talk, it takes over me. Yes, I'm down there. I wanna know, can you feel it too?
Come on.
Just like I do. This stuff is starting now.
It's the same feeling I always seem to get
about you. There's no mistaking, I'm clearly taken by the simple mere thought of you.
And then she lit some incense. She put some grease on her feet. Now you know, when a black woman's house is clean and the floor is swept, I don't know why they do this, but they put grease on their feet. For some reason, that heel was nice and shiny. Maybe she was getting ready for company. I don't know, because after she greased them feet, Mr. Charles used to show up. I love you, Ma, but you know the truth is the truth. And then I knew it was time for us to stay in our room because the party went up a notch. And you started hearing songs like this.
Whoa, whoa.
now.
Sing it.
This you can get. You stood right beside me, yeah, and I won't forget.
Bring it up.
And I really you know, I wanna make sure I'm right, girl, before I let go.
It was that type of house party, y'all. And now that weed is legal, and the party done turned up even more. Okay? The party done turned up for real now. Because now we got fried chicken, fried fish, fried bologna, on white bread with a little bit of mustard. And now, the air smells a little different. Everybody's a little bit cooler now. Everybody's enjoying themselves. And then you hear songs like this. If you old enough to remember this song, let me hear you say yeah. Say yeah.
Do it, baby.
What is it?
Keep on singing.
I'm in love with Mary.
She's what?
She's my. She makes me feel alright. She makes my. And when I'm feeling low, she comes as no surprise. Turns me on with her love. Takes me to paradise. Do you love me, Mary Jane? Yeah. Oh,
sing it.
Do you? Now do you think you love me, Mary Jane? Don't you play no game? Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Put your hands together because we in the middle of a house party. And not even a house party, we in the middle of an apartment party. And when you had a good apartment party, it was for your whole block. It wasn't just for you. And let me tell you something. We were just talking about the fact that I lost my mom, but we lost a lot of great soldiers. We lost a lot of great people. But our thing is to be here, to celebrate, to let them know how much we love and we miss them. So if you know this here song, you miss this brother like I miss this brother, let me hear you sing along.
Woo! Y'all gon' make me lose my mind. Up in here, y'all gon' make me go all out. Up in here, y'all gon' make me act a fool. Up in here, y'all gon' make me lose my cool. Up in here, up in here. If I got to bring it to you, cowards, then it's gonna be.
But we didn't just lose that, brother. We lost one that's even more near and dear to my heart. So I feel like we're friends now. I feel like we're family. Okay, I feel that you got what I need. I got what you need. We got what we need. Okay? So if you miss this brother like I miss this brother, let me hear you sing along.
You got what I need, but you say he just a friend, and you say he just a friend. Oh,
And it's time for me to bring on the next guest. Are you ready? The next guest is ready. So y'all getting ready to set up right now and getting ready to do y'all thing. And I done sung some of everybody else's stuff, but let me sing one of mine. So while they getting ready, because I don't mind, let's do it. Call me shiny, some people call me rock. And those who try to diss, I just knocks them out the box. Cause I'm Shanté and y'all know the routine. So here we go again. So all hail the queen. I loved you for a while, but it was worth the wait. Because it gave me just enough time to create a funky rhythm that's guaranteed to move the world. Had the party people screaming out, go on, girl. Like Diana Ross, I'm the boss. And those who disapprove, you can go for yours. But to think a girl like me, how's easy to take? Treat me like Nell Carter.
Give me a break.
Cause I'm the super female that's on Shanté. Like Hurricane Annie, I'll blow you away. Whenever I'm in a battle, yo, I don't play. So you best go about your way and have a nice night.
Just throw your hands up in the air and wave them like you just don't care. And if you got them clean panties and underwear, let me hear you say, oh yeah.
Okay, yeah, cause I'll stay up here, baby. But we got some greats coming on right now. So.
Thank you. Yes. We love you, Roxanne.
We love you, Roxanne.
We love you, Roxanne.
Give it up for Roxanne Shanté. Woo!
Woo, that was so fun. I wish I could have been out there with y'all dancing. I was backstage. It was so fun, so fun. So, music is just one way that the Public Housing Museum honors people who have been living in public housing all over the country. Another way is through all the exhibits that they have at the museum. It's going to be opening up next year. One of those exhibits is featuring 3 apartments that were restored with artifacts from different eras of public housing. And one of those apartments is modeled after the home of Reverend Marshall Hatch that he shared, yes, that he used to live in the Jane Addams homes on the West Side.
West Side.
Go ahead, give a shout out if you know or lived in the Jane Addams homes, yes. So Reverend Marshall Hatch is the pastor of New Mount Pilgrim Church. And he's here to tell us more about this exciting part of the museum, along with Lisa Yun Lee. You may remember her from earlier in the program. She is the executive director of the National Public Housing Museum, also a cultural activist. Let's welcome them both back to the stage. So, Reverend Marshall Hatch, first of all, happy 30th anniversary. You have been pastoring New Mount Pilgrim for the last 3 decades. It's been a long time coming since you were in the Jane Addams homes. What is it like to be working with the museum to recognize that time in your history?
Thank you, and I want to hear it for the West Side one more time. We lived in Jane Addams Public Housing for 14 years, 835 South Ada on the Great West Side, and it is really a delight. Our mom passed in 1967 in the apartment at 835 South Ada. And so this is like a dream come true for our family. And we're delighted to represent always those that grew up in the projects.
So tell me about something you really wanted to make sure was included in the exhibit as you're collecting those artifacts for it.
One of the things that we shared, we lived in public housing in 1968 when Dr. King was assassinated. And those of us that know a little of the history, Dr. King literally organized on the West Side. He organized in the community that I grew up in. He marched for public housing and opportunity
for those of us that were coming up behind him. And so I thought it was important that our apartment exampled the day that Dr. King was funeralized. My father was watching it on television. I was 10 years old, and I remember a tear going down his cheek. And so it is impressed in our minds and our memory that Dr. King lived among us. And yes, you heard it right, Dr. King was a West Sider.
You heard it right. So in the spirit of the night, we're here to celebrate music and the music that has come out of public housing. Give me a song or an artist that would be on the soundtrack of your childhood when you were growing up.
So legend has it that the Jackson 5 won a talent show in Fosco Park before anybody knew who they were. So all of us, we grew up singing Got to Be There, I'll Be There. And then, of course, we always got to represent Earth, Wind, and Fire. Child is born with a heart of gold, where the world make your heart turn cold. But when we were growing up, my particular group, we were fascinated with Slique and the Family Stone. And the song was Everyday People. Child is born. I am everyday people. Oh, yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for that serenade to the audience. That was lovely. So, Lisa, I want to zoom out a little bit, go a little bit more big picture. In your role as executive director, tell me about your purpose for working with families like Reverend Hatch's to build this museum.
Yeah, well, it's just been such a thrill and an honor to meet Reverend Hatch and his entire incredible, capacious family, and to hear the stories of public housing residents, which are the foundation of the museum. And the museum is a call to our nation to have a much more inclusive foundation for the stories that we preserve, that we interpret, and that we share with everyone. And our motto is, never again will there be a single story. And so we're just so honored to be working with the Hatches and other families like the Turovitz and the Meadors and the countless diverse families and people who have benefited from public housing in this nation. So thank you so much. And we really want to encourage all of you to join us in this effort. Feel free to text, what was that number? 44321 MPHM 2023, and join us, be a member, and join us when we open in 2024. Thank you so much, Erin.
Yes, thank you. Another round of applause. Lisa, Reverend Hatch. Thank you.
Thank you, family.
So, coming up next, y'all already saw who's coming up next. For those who don't know, we have two very special guests who were also born and bred right here in Chicago. The first is Isaiah Sharkey. He is a vocalist, a musician who started off playing guitar as a teenager in the jazz and blues clubs across Chicago. And for over a decade, he has been a session guitarist, performing with and writing with some of the most legendary names in the business. He also won a Grammy Award for his work on D'Angelo's acclaimed comeback album, Black Messiah, in 2016. And he's got a few vibey albums of his own. I like to listen when I'm winding down in the evening. He's representing the former Cabrini Green homes. Isaiah Sharkey he's gonna bless us real soon, but first, we are so lucky to have his brother, a talented vocalist in his own right, representing the Alba homes on the Near West Side. Everybody, welcome Slique J. Adams.
Come on, what's up, Chicago? I want y'all to do me a favor tonight. Come on. Clap your hands this evening. It's all right. Clap your hands this evening. Everybody, it's all right. Clap your hands. Woo.
kind of drug, baby, 'cause it just keeps on calling me. And I just need a hit of your love. It's got me shaking, I'm feeling for your touch. Baby, of you I can't get enough. It feels like I've done OD. Let's go, steppers. I'm addicted, 'cause I can't get enough. How you feel on this side? See, this must be love, 'cause I can't. I'm so addicted. Woo! Said I need you, babe. You're always on my mind, my mind, my mind. Every night. Bring it out. This one-way love is just a fantasy. Oh, baby, to share is precious, pure and fair. Oh, don't play fair. Something you should cherish for life. Don't you wanna care? It's lonely out there. I want you, babe. I want you, babe. I want you, but I want you to want me to. Want you to need me, baby, just like I do. I'm so addicted, 'cause I can't stop loving you, my baby. You're always on my mind. Think about you all the time. Hey, come on, say, just clap your hands. How you feel? How you feel, Chicago? Any steppers in the building tonight? Can I sing my song? Come on. Come on. Come on, baby. It goes like this. Hey there, sexy lady, my dream. Can I have you here with me? I just wanna love you down make you scream my name. Sing it if you know it. Come on. Loving your body. I'll be kissing your body. And I'll be touching your body. Oh, baby. Just come on. Loving your body. I'll be feeling your body. Caressing your body. All right. Now I'm about to
shadow, 'cause you deserve the best.
Loving your body,
and I'll be
kissing your body,
and I'll be
touching your body.
Oh, baby, come on, yeah.
Loving your body,
I'll be
feeling your body,
oh,
caressing your body.
come on, Zell. Let's go, steppers. I've been really trying, baby, trying to hold back this feeling so long. And if you feel like I feel, baby, then come on, oh, come on, let's get it on. Let's get it on. Let's baby, let's get it on. Sugar, let's get it on.
Loving your body, kissing your body, feeling your body. Loving your body, feeling your body. Loving your body, kissing your body, feeling your body. Feeling your body.
You make me happy, but this you can bear. You stood right beside me, and I won't forget. I really love you, and you. You should know. I wanna make sure right back. Sing it, y'all, what? Now we've had a good time. That's what they say. We've heard each other. What? Girl, it's a shame. I won't be foolish. Sing it, y'all. I wanna make sure, all right, before I let go. Sing it with me. Think the sun rises and there is nothing. Before I let you. Sing it, y'all. Whoa, I will never. Hey, let's clap your hands. Woo! Come on. We were so close. say, ba 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 da ba da. I wanna hear y'all say, ba 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 da. What? Ba 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 da. Break it down, I wanna hear them say, ba ba ba.
Come on, y'all.
Everybody just sing it together. Ba ba ba. I wanna hear you say, one more time. Ba ba. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to introduce. Coming up next, y'all start making some noise right now. Y'all can do better than that. Make some noise right now. For my brother, the one, the only, Isaiah Sharkey. Woo!
Slique J. Adams, y'all. How y'all doing tonight? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. I know I brought it on myself. I owe no blame to no one else. And now I realize I can't get over you. And though I'll do my very best, I just can't find happiness. And girl, it's all because I can't get over you. Baby, why, oh why, thinking about you makes me cry. No matter how hard I try, I'm gonna love you by and by.
can't get over you. I tried to lose myself in song, but the ties are just too strong. What am I gonna do, baby? I can't get over you. It makes me feel so bad. Oh, messing up the love we had. That's one thing I know. I will always love you so. Love you so. What am I gonna do, baby? I can't get over you. How y'all doing tonight? All right. We're going to keep going. Is that all right? Let's give it up for this event tonight. Let's give it up for supporting public housing. I grew up in Cabrini Green. How many people from Cabrini Green? Anybody know from Cabrini Green? 956 North Hudson. Yes. We gonna play some classic music. Is that all right? I said, can we play some classic music for y'all? How many people like R&B, soul R&B? So y'all remember songs like this here? It's a shame the way you mess around with your man. It's a shame the way you hurt me. It's a shame the way you mess around with your man. I'm sitting all alone by the telephone waiting for your call, but you won't call.
call at all. It's a shame we ain't doing that. All right. We gonna do it, but can we do it our way? All right, we gonna do it our way. Here we go. We're gonna hit some hip hop with some jazz bass like this right here. Come on, y'all. Clap your hands. Y'all feel that? If y'all hear that, let me hear you say yeah. If you feel it, let me hear you say yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. I say 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. It's a shame the way you mess around with your man. It's a shame the way you hurt me. It's a shame the way you mess around with your man. I'm sitting all alone by the telephone, waiting for your call, but you won't call at all. It's a shame the way you mess around with your man. It's a shame the way you're playing with my emotion. It's a shame the way you mess around with your man. You're like a child and play on a sunny day, but you play with your love and then you throw it away. Why do you use me? Try to confuse. How can you stand to be so cruel? Why don't you free me from this prison while serving my time as a fool? It's a shame the way you mess around with your man. Woo, baby, you might as well hurt me. It's a shame the way you mess around with your man. I tried to stay with you, show your love so true, but you won't appreciate the love we've been trying to do. Oh, it's got to be a shame. Oh, yeah. Just me and drum. Y'all like that version? How many first time hearing that version? That's all good. That's my version on my album, Love, Life, Live. It's available on Spotify, Apple Music, all the platforms. And since I'm from Chicago, since I'm from Cabrini Green, one person that was from Cabrini Green was Curtis Mayfield. And we're going to do a song that he wrote. Can I bring up a beautiful, beautiful lady, a singer who's actually kinfolks to the next song I'm about to play for. Her name is Miss Opal Staples. 1, 2, 3. How many people know this song?
Around all the smell of the morning flower as we pass away the wanna do it again. I wanna do it again. I wanna. Let's do it in the morning. Sweet breeze in the summertime. Feeling your sweet face, all laid up next to mine. Sweet love in the midnight. Good sleep come morning light. Don't worry about nothing. Just getting good, just getting good, just getting good love. I wanna do it again. I wanna do it again.
Now I like you, lady, so fine with your pretty hair. If you don't mind, now come for me. Let's take a little closer with her. I'm just a man, now don't you feel? Do it again.
Hey, let's do it in the morning. Sweet dreams in the summertime. Feeling your sweet face, all laid up next to mine. Sweet love in the midnight. Good sleep come morning light. Don't worry about nothing. Just getting good, just getting good, just getting good love. I wanna do it again.
I wanna do it again.
I wanna do it again.
I just do it again.
I wanna do it again.
Oh, 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 oh.
I wanna do it again. Say, ooh.
Break it down, y'all.
I wanna do it again. Yeah. To me, say, to me, to me. Morning light. Don't worry about nothing. Just getting good, just getting good, just getting good love.
Opal Staples, y'all. One more time, she's akin to Opal's. The Staples singers, give it one more time. Opal Staples, amazing. Check her out. Spotify, all the platforms. Is it all right if I do original for y'all? Now I told you we like classic R&B music. We like stuff like hello, 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 whoa. Like songs like that. Y'all like them songs? Well, I wrote a song that was inspired by that. It go a little something like this. How can this be? Baby, you're always on my mind. Every day, thoughts of endless time. Sailing, making love with you. Daily, I know that this is new for you, and I feel the same way. You do too, but this we can't deny. Lady, that you're gonna be my baby. Won't you stay a while with me? I'll show you how it could really be. While we're lost across the seas of fantasy, one room, two hearts in fight the feelings we had inside. Oh, my heart, won't you stay a while with me? I saw you out love, good. Wild coast across the sea of fantasy, one room, 200 love. Won't you stay a while? Show you how love could really be, really be, really be. Wild coast across fantasy, one room, 200 love, unity. Won't you stay a while? Won't you stay a while, baby? Won't you stay a while? Oh, baby, yeah. Won't you stay a while? Won't you stay a while? Oh, baby, yeah. Thank y'all so much. See you soon. Peace.